grumpy with my grumpiness and to judge it. All it does is bring suffering. And in that seeing, it begins to dissolve. Now, sometimes when the habit pattern is really strong, it takes much more effort and resolution to say, I am not going with that. I refuse to go with that judgment or that blame. By practicing in this way, by practicing mindfulness in this way, more and more we have the capacity to let go of insisting our experiences. My mind was tired, was grumpy, to let go, insisting it be different. And in that moment of letting go, things come into balance. Because that's what happens in mindfulness and kindness and acceptance. We find ourselves more and more moving into a balance, or this relationship of being ungloved. That is, allowing the experience to be experienced as life being lived in us, and in that it joins the stream of life, of the moment's expression, and then there's joy in it, and there's equanimity in it. So that's our path. And over again, we'll be reminded that it's not the experience but how we relate to it. That is the calling of our hearts. That is actually the calling of our lives. So then when I talk about mindfulness, what is mindfulness? It is this capacity to know the experience as it is without distortion. And we use the breath and the body as a training ground to know, is this hot? Is it cold? What actually is pain? Is it throbbing? Is it pulsation? Is it hot? Is it contracted? Is it changing? Is it the same? What is our experience? What is grumpiness? You know, it's like this sort of leaning into a kind of contraction and aversion, a not liking, a rejection in a way, and it's a little grey. You know, it's like, what is the experience? So it's this capacity to see the experience as it is without ownership, without taking it as this is me or mine, but rather seeing each experience as an expression of life, in the same way that we see the sun coming over the hills. We see it, or as we experience, because we all here, I just want to acknowledge that we all here can see, or we feel the touch of the buttocks against the cushion. Actually, it isn't my pressure. It is like putting a kettle on the stove and turning the fire on and the water heats up. It is just conditions coming together. Skin against and blood vessels and fatty tissue against an object brings a certain experience. So mindfulness begins to see the universality of experience, and just as it is. That becomes the path into the awakened heart and mind, to know each moment. And that's why I say, notice how you're walking out of the door. Notice what your experience at the breakfast table is. It isn't so much that all those things in themselves are the be-all and end-all, but that the process of knowing and relating to it is. So, being mindful, seeing things as they are. It is, in the Abhidharma it is said that the opposite of mindfulness is like a cork bobbing on the surface of the water and floating away. So the opposite of mindfulness is distraction, where you lose connection with your object and you don't have a relationship with it. It's not like the cork is a stone that penetrates to the depths of the ocean, which is the description of mindfulness. Distraction is a cork bobbing on the surface of the water. So mindfulness is seeing things clearly as they are. And then the other aspect that we're really practicing is loving kindness. And there is no experience that doesn't deserve our love. There is no experience that doesn't deserve our love. So, being present and being kind, that is the calling our hearts are making. We are taking today to particularly pay attention to our bodies and to our breath. Also, we will have the experience of pleasant and unpleasant and neutral, and different feelings coming up. See if you can acknowledge those and then come back to the body. The body is a really safe refuge for the practice of mindfulness. So there might be certain parts of your body that hurt, then go to the parts that don't during the day. Your earlobes or your elbows, the more neutral parts. So good. Are there any questions about what I've said that doesn't make sense? So let's go ahead. Yes.
What was that about the earlobes and the elbows?
Oh, that if in your sitting, if there's parts of your body hurt, then just go to more neutral parts, like your earlobes or elbows, to pay attention to. Okay. So finding a relatively comfortable position, because of course our bodies can't give us total ongoing comfort. It's not the nature of bodies. Like to start by appreciating yourself. Appreciating the courage that lies in your heart that brought you here. That willingness to unglove, to become vulnerable to our lives. And then see if you would like to call forth an intention for this next sitting period. Perhaps as simple as to be mindful, or to be patient, or kind. Just opening up in this listening to the life in general in our bodies and in our minds, acknowledging the atmosphere that's present for you, the emotional atmosphere. No need to get into a story, just to come into a relationship with how it is for us in this moment, calm or restless, in faith or in doubt. We come into relationship with our experience, and in this there is a healing.